Okay guys, this is lesson 6.9, problem solving. For this lesson, there's not any specific steps that we can do to solve each problem. There's different story problems, and then we just have to figure out how we're going to put our problems together to help solve the problem. So the one thing that we're going to be working with, we've talked about them a little bit earlier in the year, but just a reminder, are variables. So remember, variables are usually a letter, and they can change. So examples are like X, Y, B, A, B, M, Q, could be any letter, and a variable changes. So remember we talked about, if you had 5 plus 4 equals M. Well, M would equal 9 because 5 plus 4 equals 9. So we're gonna set up equations, problems with variables. So let's do one together right here. The Smith family is skiing the Big Tree Trails, which have a total length of 4 miles. Yesterday they skied the 7/10 mile Oak Trail. Today they skied the 3/5 mile Pine Trail. If they plan to ski all of the Big Tree Trails, how many more miles do they have left to ski? So a few things I always do with story problems. I underline what I need to know. So I underlined that they ski a total of 4 miles, that yesterday they skied 7/10 of a mile, and today they skied a total of 3/5 of a mile. And then I underlined the question. If they plan to ski all of the Big Tree Trails, how many more miles do they have left to ski? Usually I read the question multiple times, okay? So here's my problem. Here's my equation set up. Miles skied yesterday. So yesterday they skied 7/10 of a mile. Miles skied today. They skied 3/5 miles today. And then miles they need to ski, this is what we need to figure out. We don't know this one. So I'm just going to put an M. Here's my variable. This is our unknown. And then the total distance they skied was 4 miles. So I know that the miles they skied yesterday plus the miles they skied today plus something, an unknown, is going to be 4. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. Here's one way. One way is you can add what we know. We know we can add 3/5 and 7/10. So let's change this to a common denominator. So 3/5, if we changed it, it'd be 6/10. So if we add them together, we'd have 13/10. Okay, so now we're left with 13/10 plus M equals 4. So now bring everything down just like our order of operations when we did PEMDAS. We would keep going down and make it smaller and smaller every time. So we got rid of 7/10 and 3/5 and we combine them and now it's 13/10. So now we have 13/10 plus M equals 4. So we just need to figure out what M is. So if I'd go 4 minus 13/10, we need to regroup just like we did yesterday. So if I regroup one whole, I would get 10/10. I chose 10 because my denominator is already 10. So I might as well choose 10 so I don't have to find another common denominator. So 10/10. But I can't subtract 13 from 10. So guess what? I need to regroup again. So I'm going to cross out my 3, change that to a 2, and I'm going to add 10/10. So now it's 20/10. Now I can subtract. 20/10 minus 13/10 is 7/10, and then 2 minus 0 is 2. So my variable M equals 2 and 7/10. So 13/10 plus 2 and 7/10 is going to equal 4. So the miles they need to ski to equal the total distance of 4 is 2 and 7/10 miles. Here are your extra credit problems. You have 2 where you just need to find the variable. So you have 6 equals 2 and 5/6 plus 1 and 1/3 plus x. So you'll add these two first and then you'll subtract to find x. And then x equals 6 and 1/2 plus 7 3/4 equals 36. So again, you're going to add and subtract.